Hello, hi everyone, good evening to our listeners from wherever you are. This is Crossroads Wellness Center, Uganda, and we are back again with this audio broadcast. Thank you for joining us from wherever you will listen in this podcast from or this audio from. And it's always wonderful us talking to you and having your company. Thank you to our followers, those who have been really commenting on every sharing we've made, either via our YouTube channel, our X account, our Facebook, our TikTok, and to our WhatsApp group for those who joined. This evening again we are here to share about some of the questions that our dear participants have asked us, and I am not seated alone behind this recording. I have someone who will be sharing with. Let's get to hear her perspective, but I am Derek and this is Crossroads Wellness Center, Uganda. Remember, if you want to participate or to join our support group, you can now click on 0200914432. Now that number will lead you to our support to the chat room where you could request to join our breakup support group in case you are having hard time to navigate through breakup ailments and struggles and whatever it is. Thank you. I welcome you to this evening's edition, and I hope you will learn something from what we are going to share and from our guest tonight. Now let's get to hear from her, and we can kick off from that. You're welcome.
Thank you, Derek. My name's of Shakira again. I'm glad that I'm back here on Crossroads Wellness Center, and given the opportunity that I'm here, I would like to answer some of the questions that have been asked by different people on our platform, and I'll be glad to share my opinion about these questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Shakira. You're welcome once again. I think someone before asked me a question whether we have a partner clinic. Yes, we have one. And that's Alma Medical Center, Kasanga Town Council, Masori, about 2 kilometers off Gayaza Road. If you wanted to get in touch, maybe for medical issues or that kind of part of it. Thank you. Now, these questions that we are going to answer have been asked by our dear participants, and we are taking this opportunity to respond to some of them and to share with the general public about our opinions. Remember, we are not experts in this. We are learning from you as you learn from us. You're also allowed to share with us your views or your opinion on any of the questions. Now, from one of our platforms, one of the participants asked a question, and let's get into it. Someone said how many people have love, but they don't have reason to love. Why? Now, I couldn't answer that question alone. I could have had my personal views and opinions, but let's get to hear what someone else will say about this particular question. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad I'm going to answer this because I might be one of the victims of this question. And I think why people fear to love yet they love, it has so many reasons as to why. Reason number one, I'll give the past traumatic experience they went through with the past relationship they had. I think that is one of the reasons why it's very hard to convince someone who has ever been through a heartbreak to love again. Yet, they do love when the opportunity comes right. The next thing, I think, fear of neglection, because people love with different intentions and people come into our lives with different intentions. You might be in a relationship, but someone else is having other intentions with a relationship, and you might fall in love with someone who is not in love with you. So there is that part of neglection, and that is also part of it.
But before we continue, you've talked about fear of rejection. Sometimes we've thought the rejection to be partly spiritual. Is that what you're talking about?
Not really, because you can be, actually I think it's not spiritual, it is within us. You can think someone is in love with you. Actually, I think here we are in
denial.
Not denial. You can think someone is in love with you according to what they are doing for you, their presence, their availability, their actions, but in the end, it's not what you always think.
Okay.
And in the end, you feel like you are rejected. When actually, in most cases, when you try to also put out your feelings about that person before they come out to tell you how they feel about you, and you end up being rejected.
Okay,
That's
thank
what
you.
I meant.
That's quite elaborate. Thank you.
And the other thing I think why people fear that, there is fear of emotional pain. What I can say about fear of emotional pain, the fact that they have ever been in that place, they fear what they can go through again when they fall in love. Because we always fall in love and be in relationships thinking that there is that time of the day where it comes when there is that emotional pain. I'm sure most of you have ever gone through that, and most people fear to love because of that. Because of that, they can't control the pain that comes with loving. I think those are some of the reasons why those people who love fear to love again. I think personally.
Emotional breakdown. Don't you think it is a hindrance, especially when someone has been through that traumatizing experience? They tend to hold so much to the past, and that would affect their next step.
Exactly. But here we're talking about why people fear to love. Yes, they always hold on to the past because even the present started as the past. So you can't give a guarantee of 99% that you're not going to go through the same thing. It is something like betting, and you go into betting you've ever lost sometimes back. It's not actually holding on to the past, but it's just the fear that comes.
So that's like consulting from your past experience.
Yes, exactly.
Is it necessary?
It's not necessary, but it is at least a key
consideration.
Yes.
Okay.
Me personally, that is what I think as me.
That's great. Now, that's her own views and opinions. You could be having your opinions, and we welcome them. Now, the next participant asked a question. Sometimes some people are pretenders. They show affection, yet they have hidden intentions. Is that really so?
Yeah, that is true. And so many people are having relationships without true intentions. And it's actually a very big problem. And it leads us to question number one most of the time. Different people are in different relationships with different intentions. And they end up faking what they feel for their partners. The question says,
some people are pretenders. They show affection, yet they have hidden intentions.
Yeah. For so many reasons and for so many factors, people are in love with different intentions, yet they are not in love. They pretend to be loving. Maybe someone is loving you for your money, for your company, for the good heart you have, for the concerns you always give to them, for your availability. So many reasons that are attached to that. Not because they love you, but they feel comfort. You give them comfort. They feel so comfortable around you, yet they are not in love with you. And it's very common with girls and men. And it takes us to question number one. To question number one, the many people that
have love, but they don't have reason to love.
Yes, that is the same thing. I can be in a relationship, I have love, but I don't want to love because of this question number 2. I can be there and they pretend because of what I went through, my past experiences, and I go into a relationship and I start pretending, and it's very common.
That briefly takes me to something else.
Yes.
Someone has asked a question, though not listed among today's questions, that do men also get hurt in relationships?
Exactly, they do.
And then in addition to that, so I would ask you, who do you think between men and women is mostly hurt in a breakup or in a relationship?
Women.
Women.
Yeah. Because women give in all of us, and men, I don't know, but most of the cases I always have, men don't always give in the whole of themselves. And I think women are more broken than men in relationships. That is what I can say.
Okay, women are more broken in relationships. And it seems like they may take long to heal, but when women heal, they heal completely.
Because when they are there, they submit, and when they go out, they are healing, complete healing.
Yeah, they completely heal. I think the difference comes at the level of healing. You know, today I saw something, I posted something, it was showing the levels of healing. Within 1 day of a breakup, a man seems to be so strong and the woman is completely broken down. Within 1 week, he starts feeling the pressure, and then the woman is now gathering herself up. Then within a year, a man is completely and totally lost within a while. And a woman is now jubilating and she has moved on, and probably she's thinking about, Now, why, do you think it's because women tend to open up much easier than men?
Yeah, exactly. And
they reach out for support?
Yeah, exactly. But men fear to be judged. That is why they take long to heal. However, healing mostly comes first with women. Why? Because when they are in a relationship, they know why they are in a relationship, they do submission, they love with the whole of themselves. But in most cases, when they get out of the relationship, they are always a third party involved. When they engage with a third party, things might go well with them and things might not go well with them. And it will take time for them to start recognizing the other heartbreak they went through. That is why it takes, and after things going bizarre for them in the second, third party relationship, they start thinking back in the first relationship they had. That is why they are so confused with healing.
You see, a lot of people would think that people who talk about these things do not experience them. Now,
I've experienced this and I know what I'm talking about.
Thank you. And I think I am not just looking at us answering these questions. I am picturing something that is within me. You see, men, I think somehow the societal setting is a problem. We've been brought up in a way, in a manner that we don't reach out, that we don't speak.
We don't disclose.
We don't disclose. And the more I think that also associates or resonates well with why men die first, earlier than women.
Maybe.
Yeah, because we keep a lot of stresses within ourselves, and they keep accumulating. And then that kind of venting, instead of, coming out, you die. That's why we have natural death is common among men.
You have heart attacks.
Yeah, heart attacks compared to women because they reach out. I think
you disclose, you talk about the problem and get a solution, and then you move on.
I think we need to grab a heart that women do have.
But that is you.
And I think, and that is why I'm thinking that I was talking to someone some time back. What we think we cannot do for our women, why would we think them do them for us? Or that I'm taking this discussion a bit far.
Something else.
Let's come back to the topic, to the questions. Now, have you exhausted the question or you had something else to add?
I think I've exhausted the second question.
Did you have any other parts to add on it, probably?
Maybe if you ask something related to the question. Yes.
I thought maybe, so someone has now heard about pretenders and why it is so. So how would someone really notice this or overcome? Possibly, if you have anything to add.
Noticing a partner who is a pretender is very easy because their availability is less, their communication is less, their love to push up the relationship is less. Everything they give out seems not to be in an effort to keep the relationship. The time, the energy, the availability, how they communicate, how they respond to you, it really shows that someone is not really into you. And then the solution, I think you should sit down yourself and gather yourself up and ask yourself, is this what I really want? Is this the kind of pattern I really need? Is this the kind of life or the relationship I want to stay in? And you get the solution to that. I think that is the only solution I can give.
You bundle yourself up early.
Yes, exactly.
Thank you. The third question. Why are some men so focused on education levels before getting into a relationship?
That question is, I don't know who asked this question, but me personally, I wouldn't think like that men really love highly educated women. Me personally, according to my experience, I think they love moderately educated women. Why? Men naturally, they were created to lead, and they are leaders who want to be heard and respected. Exactly.
So in other words, they are controllers.
Yes, they are kind of controllers hidden in the name of respect.
But they just want to control.
Yes. But here is the reasons why some men really love high educated women, not highly educated women. Let me say educated women. There is independence. Educated women are really kind of independent. They are not really beggars as such.
Men don't want that.
Men don't want beggars. Men don't really love women who are too much on them. Ask this, ask that, ask this. They really want a woman who can stand on their own at a certain time of the day. The another point, shared interests. Because you can be that man who really, most of the times, that man who wants an educated woman is always highly educated. You can sit down and share ideas that you can relate to. A man brings an idea, you have a clue about it. A man brings something that is really good, and you can share ideas. That is why some men love those women. I think the other thing, they are role models. Educated women can be role models, inspiring men to pursue their own goals and aspirations. Because if you have an educated woman, they know where they can go to and what they can achieve. So they always push you ahead and always reminds you of those ambitious goals you have to achieve. And they always know the values of everything. So I think that is the key to what I can add on that.
Now, it looks like I'm trying to think around. Now, the person who asked this question, probably she has two things. Or else this question has two answers, kind of. Now, the one part you have answered it. Now, let's answer this question from the perspective of men who say, I cannot marry a girl who does not have a degree, a bachelor's, or is not educated.
They are always more highly educated, and they fear to be discussed upon maybe with other fellow men, the community, the family background. Some families don't want uneducated women. They always have that, what do they call it? That thing they have to build into their family. They don't want to bring those people around them that are really not educated to their level.
Okay, I agree.
So some men put it up to you so that you get to know according to their family background and the interests in their families. Yeah, that is why they always have that thing. I don't want to date someone who is not above this class, who is not above this level, because of those attached small things they have in their families.
But accordingly, do you think it should be a determinant?
No, it's not a key.
It's not a key.
It's not a key.
It's not a determinant.
Yeah.
But then, at which extent do you think this should matter in a relationship?
It depends per person. I would say it depends per person because we all have different interests in relationships.
But we keep in mind there could be someone who just have a diploma, but they are really they are very successful in their career or in the business life. So to which extent do you think men should consider this? Because now that we've known it should not be determined.
As long as someone is educated to a level of maybe like, which level?
But anyway, I think
advanced.
Well, for advanced or for diploma, there is always an advantage or an opportunity for.
Yes, because even if you get someone who's educated but is not knowledgeable, those are two different things.
Yeah, they are real.
Yeah, it depends per person on their interests. Maybe someone can take a person who is educated but not knowledgeable and they are fine with it, just for the fact that they are educated, and someone is looking for knowledge. Someone else is looking for knowledge besides education.
Does brain matter in a relationship?
Exactly, it does. That is the key. You have to have someone in a relationship, you deal with someone in a relationship who is very, very keen and knowledgeable about life, I think.
I think that takes me back a little bit what you talked about being independent.
Emotional intelligence. Because it's not on everyone.
And having that kind of a woman, I think the brains will also matter in that, especially when we look at our economic difficulties or strains today. I think, and then in relation with brains, a woman who knows how to balance, I think, is very important compared to what we've been looking at, education or what. Because we might think about education and this woman will come with a lot of needs and they do not balance with your earning, with your income, and you want to manage them, and that brings more stress in a relationship or in a marriage.
That is the emotional intelligence I've just talked about.
Okay, thank you about that. I think our last question, by the time a man leaves a relationship, he already has a backup. Is this really true?
According to what I've seen, it's true. Men always leave relationships with third parties around, which is not certain with women. Most relationships with women end when it is done. And it's done.
But also women, don't you think at some point they also have those who be in their box?
They're always there, but not necessarily she's going to take in those other parties.
Well, like she hasn't opened the door.
Yes, she hasn't opened those doors for those men. But for men, they're always fluttering around with those women. When the breakup happens, they just open the door for them. That is why it is very common for men to move on very quickly than women. They always have that third party knocking around. When these things don't work out, they just click in the third party. So
it means by the time they enter a relationship with you, they already have a preoccupied mind if it doesn't work out.
Yes, they always have that other thinking.
Okay, all right. Yeah, you can take on.
Yeah, I think that is it.
You've exhausted the question, you think?
By the time a man leaves the relationship, yeah, they always have. Yeah, might say they always have, because they move on very quickly and they, I don't know why they heal or why they do, I don't know, but men always have third parties around.
That reminds me, the questions are over. Now, how long should it take for someone after breakup to move into a new relationship, you think?
It depends on how deep the breakup was for that person. Some people can take it for 6 months, those who, it takes back to question number 2 of pretenders. They can go through a heartbreak that was not so serious because they are pretending into a relationship. Those people can even take like 2 months or 3 months. It depends on how you had those times, how the relationship was, and how long your relationship was. Everything, it depends per person and how they deal with healing. So I can't tell you that it takes this kind of time, it takes this period of time. I think it depends per person. Some people take months, some people take years, some people take decades. So it depends per person about healing. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting, really. I think we're coming to the end of this broadcast. Do you have any advice, anything according to these questions you'd like to speak to someone concerning their healing, concerning their next move, anything?
Yeah, what I would like to support in these asked questions, I would advise everyone there to always love who loves you, to always give time to people who really give time to you, and always notice those red flags before you take long to be in a relationship with someone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Those were my last words.
Now, like just listing any red flag you'd wish to say these people to know, like because a lot of times they have asked, what are those red flags to show that this thing is not going anywhere? What could be any of these red flags one can notice and say, surely I had seen these ones, or I am seeing them apparently?
The red flags are very many. There is lack of effort for the relationship. There is poor communication, emotional unavailability, inconsistencies, dishonesty. There are so many. Gaslighting, so many. Avoidance. The red flags are always there. It's just that we just don't notice them.
Okay. Thank you. I think that was quite elaborate, and thank you for your time and for allowing to sit down with us once again in this setting where we find you at work, and then you give us some time. Maybe one last word. You spoke about gaslighting. Can you try to break down that word? Well, I think we are running out of time. The next time we come on, we will begin from that, and let's mark it and we keep it for next time. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for listening in. Thank you for your time. Remember, you can now click on 0200914432 to request to join our breakup support group. You can also request for a chat concerning anything to do with your personal mental health and all that. Till then, thank you.